They have a really tight sort of like model. You really have to approach it on a business end as well. Okay, like what exactly are we doing here? How can we generate some income?
Ponder, 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 ponder,
Come on in, come on in. Well, Mario Luciano, please. Songs in G sharp major. Seattle, what the fuck is good, man? Clap it up for yourselves. Man, I'm really stoked to be here, guys. This is my second time doing Pass the Aux in Seattle. And first of all, I love Seattle. This is definitely one of my favorite cities. Raise your hand if you're from Seattle. Raise your hand if you're traveling from out of town. All right, some of you guys. Cool. How's it doing? You got one?
Yeah.
That's fresh. Yeah. What size are you?
I'm big XL.
Cool. I've been wearing double XLs lately. I feel like I'm fucking getting fat. Bars.
Appreciate that, bro.
How long have you been rapping?
Since I can remember.
Wow. Bars are great. You produced that too?
Yes.
Did you mix it? Mm-hmm. Okay, the only thing, and obviously these aren't the perfect monitors to like assess any mix, but the music, the sample, the music in there, the mids were a little bit kind of muddying up the vocal. And so your vocal was a little drowned out. But, you know, just those little details dig in. And I felt like the drums could also pump a little bit more. I like using this plugin called Transient Master. Are you guys familiar with that? Yeah, it's by Native Instruments. Transient Master is really cool VST. And then also this plugin called Decimort that I've been talking about for the past 6 years. It's like sausage fattener, but like way better.
Like I don't engineer right now, you know.
Should I learn to mix or learn
the process? I focus on learning the mix before I start putting.
You're always going to be at an advantage if you know how to do your own shit. Yeah. Like the more you know how to do, the bigger of an advantage you are over everything. Yeah. You know, you can do both. So like in the meantime, get someone to mix your shit, and then while that's happening, give yourself a couple months or a couple weeks, whatever it is, and like go hard and learn how to mix.
Yeah.
How many members?
Figureheads. I want to say there's like 60 right now.
60, oh my God.
So over the years, they've been a collective for about 4 years. I'm busy, definitely.
Yeah, is this full time?
It is not full time. I work a day job right now.
I think that's amazing. You know, the only thing I would just be mindful of is, you know, like I said, having a clear vision of what you really ultimately want to happen and what you're trying to do, you know, and when you look at collectives in the past that have successfully been doing this, you know, one of the most successful I would say would be Soulection. So when you take a look at Soulection, you look at their model and you say, okay, Soulection got popular on SoundCloud when kind of at its peak, right? And then they had the Soulection shows, and it was just a collection of music, and then they had producers started to sign with them. And fast forward, I think they started like 2012 or 13, and you know, fast forward 5-6 years later, and they have a really tight sort of like model. You really have to sort of approach it on a business end as well. You know, instead of doing that, you just say, okay, like, what exactly are we doing here? How can we generate some income? Are we gonna get on the road and do shows? If we do that, how big is our email list? You know, if we have an email list of 1,000 people, maybe we should grow that and start creating momentum there. You know what I mean? So these are things I think you guys want to think about to really like execute what you really want this to become. It sort of sounds like you want to kind of create a collective of some sort and push it out, you know? So, you know, I bring up the Soulection thing because they're a pretty good example of someone who has like successfully done that, you know? So it sounds like you're doing a lot. You have your rap shit, you got the Coop stuff, you produce music, you rap, you do all that. And so I think for you individually, you want to think about how can I make this a full-time thing?
But find time to not only make the music, but make those smart decisions and navigate like the business side of it and like create like a path.
It's not as complicated as you think it is. Okay, I have a job. I make X amount of money per month from this job, but I really don't want to work there. I want to do beats full time, right? And this is entirely up to you. Music is the thing that you want to do for the rest of your life and make a living off of music. Life is gonna suck for a while. There's no sort of like perfect time to like kind of quit your job and take a leap of faith, right? And so that's step number one, is being mindful of the reality that at some point in time, life is gonna suck for a little while if this is something you wanna do. The second thing is, to make it less sucky, you wanna figure out a way to generate some income that is equal to or more than what you currently make at your job. Let's say I make $4,000 per month at my day job. I want to make $4,000 worth of beats. So then you got to think, okay, if I do beats full time, then how do I generate $4,000? Well, I could lease 40 beats per month at $100 per lease. And I can go to YouTube and lease beats on YouTube. I can go to BeatStars, create a BeatStars account, do them on there. And then you think, okay, if my goal is 40, then I just need to do 10 every week. And so you think, okay, 10 beats per week. If I do this full time, I can probably make 5 beats per day, 35. That's 35 beats in 1 week that you can make if you go hard.
Yeah.
You can lease 10 out of those 35. So I would, if I were you, I would start thinking sort of like that. I'm not saying like quit your job, but think about, you know, how you can start generating some of this income with leases and maybe put some of these beats away and start playing with putting them online and see how people react and stuff. Yeah, there's a study out there that is like the top 3 most desirable posts. So like the types of posts that get the highest traffic. One of the top posts is like something that's funny, comedy, you know, fuck Jerry, shit like that. That gets high interaction. And then the second thing is awe-inspiring, like something that's like just like super epic looking. And then I think the third thing is like inspirational. One thing you don't want to post is depressing stuff. Yeah, that gets the lowest interaction. So like stuff that's like super sad and depressing. And
Top of no respect, Pastor off, motherfucker, the event. 7 p.m., 11 a.m. Your motherfucker saying a motherfucking and well shit, motherfuckers, then we doing the end.
Are the future. You know, we are the future of music, and as music creators, the best thing we can do right now is collaborate and share energies with other people and our peers. Watch my YouTube and stuff and the podcast, like I talk about that stuff all the time. It's so crucial. So we'll start with this chat room, and you know, you guys can exchange phone numbers however you please, and just keep in touch with each other, man. Clap it up one more time for yourselves. This was amazing. G, good building with you, man. Good shit today.
Hey, how did you
Super inspiring.